It's time to go around the world. Just joking, we can't really go around the world given this climate that we're in today and quarantine. But this is going to be talking about the assignment, the round the world trip assignment, which is log 3 from the time set of work, which can be found in Compass and in Microsoft Teams. What this video will be talking about is how to approach this assignment, and there'll be two separate videos. This video, another video which will be looking at how to read time zones. This video will be looking at what to do with the assignment and also how to write your times in 24-hour time if you're feeling a little bit unfamiliar with that. So for now, let's have a look at the assignment, which can be found on Compass. This is the assignment right here, log 3 around the world trip. And in a nutshell, really simple, all you're doing is you're going to plan a holiday to 6 different destinations around the world, making sure that you visit 6 different time zones over a maximum of 3 weeks. And I'll put roughly 3 weeks. So 6 different time zones we'll look into the next video. What you need to know is that you'll be departing and returning from Melbourne, Tullamarine Airport specifically, which is the main airport that is used within Melbourne, back in the day anyways. So at the top here, there's an example, which I'll get to in a second, but you'll notice that you're going to depart from Melbourne, and then as each destination you're going to go to, this is called a leg, and you'll see that you'll have 6 legs, with the last leg you landing back in Melbourne. Now at the top here, there is an example that shows you how to get from Cairns or Cairns, depending on your dialect, to Darwin. Now Cairns is on the furthest right hand side of Australia, and Darwin is in the middle of Australia. So you're going from the right side of Australia to the left. And because of this, based on the time zone, there is a difference of 30 minutes, and it's minus 30 minutes because if you're going from right to left within the map, you're actually going back in time by 30 minutes. So how long this takes is 2 hours on average, 2 hours and 35 minutes. There is a travel website, which I'm going to show you how to use in a second. And what you'll do is, with your starting local departure date and time, this hypothetical example has us leave from Cairns at 7th of February 2013 at 11 in the morning, 1100 hours, they say in military format. This is 24-hour time without the 2 dots in the middle. And this is going to take 2 hours and 35 minutes. So technically we'll be arriving at 1:35 or 13:35 for 24-hour time. But you got to remember, there is a 30-minute difference, and we are going back in time, so we have to compensate for that. So technically our arrival time, local meaning local to Darwin, will be 13:05 or 1:05 p.m. And how you work that out, there's 2 ways of working that out. You can either take your flying time and subtract the time difference. Depending, maybe you might have to add it, depending if you're going from left to right of your destination, and then you just, whatever that new flying time is, you add that to your local departure date and time. Or the other way is you just take the flying time, add it to this, and then subtract the 30 minutes. It really depends on which one's easier for you. Either way, you'll end up getting this same answer. So in your case, you'll be using different destinations. It can be interstate, international. You can technically go wherever you want, provided that there is a realistic destination. And you have to make sure that you're using the full 3 weeks from whatever your local departure date and time is. Alright, so roughly 3 weeks. I say roughly based on just the timing. So if you're off by a day or 2, that's okay. Just making sure that it doesn't go overboard, like you're going to spend a month or so somewhere, or it takes less time to do something like that. Okay, so around the ballpark of 3 weeks. Now there's a set of steps for you to use as a guideline, and I'll go through these steps with you. We're going to decide your destinations. You can use a Google or world map to assist you with this. As you can see here, I've typed in Cairns to Darwin just within Google and then gone to the map of this, and this shows me where Cairns to Darwin is, and you can see it's traveling from the right hand side of Australia. Specifically, we're in Queensland, and we're going to the left to Darwin, which is the Northern Territory. It doesn't tell you the airplane time destination. Sometimes the options does pop up, but there's another website that you'll be using in order to know how to do this. So say for instance, you want to go from, let's try, we'll go from Melbourne, Melbourne Airport, and last destination, maybe we want to go to Jakarta in Indonesia. Put that in, and you can see here, obviously from Melbourne Airport to Jakarta, we go left to right. Obviously Google doesn't work in regards to driving there because you can't drive on the water, but it's used to see how you, where the destination goes from. In this case, it will be east to west. Once you've decided where you want to go, it's good to just get all the different destinations down first. Don't focus it on one at a time. Just put those destinations in, and then you can work out a time later on. So once you've done that, you're going to calculate the time difference between the destinations using the world time zones. Now, I've uploaded 2 pictures of this, but again, we'll be looking at this within the next video. And then you want to calculate the flying time between the destinations using this website here, which is called travelmath.com/flying time. So this is the website here. It automatically sets it to flight time because of the name within the address. And say you want to go from Melbourne, Victoria. There's a Melbourne in Florida, I did not know that. And maybe we want to go to, let's not go to Jakarta this time. Maybe we want to go to Moscow in Russia. Oh wow, there's Moscow in Idaho. We'll calculate this, and the flight time from Melbourne on average is 18 hours and 25 minutes if we're going straight there, which is quite a long time, 18 hours and 25 minutes. Now, you are not restricted to just use flying time. You are if you're going internationally, if that's the case. But say for instance, you go, you're in a certain continent and you want to go maybe from, let's say we're in the continent of Europe and we want to go from Frankfurt, Germany, and then we want to travel to maybe, what's another place in Germany? Say we want to go to Berlin in Germany. So you've figured out you want to go to there. It takes 1 hour and 2 minutes if you want to do this, but maybe we want to, let's go back and actually do driving time. So we've arrived in Europe and we want to do Frankfurt in Germany, and we want to go to Berlin in Germany. So if you want to include a road trip of some sort to get from one place to another, that's okay. You just got to remember that when you go to this next place, it has to be in a different time zone. Okay, so Europe is really good for this because Europe extends all over different time zones. I was just showing you a hypothetical for Germany. I think this is still within the same time zone. It might be different, I'm not too sure. But it has to be within a different time zone if you decide to do a drive within your leg. So we've got to make sure that we're using local departure times and dates, and it does say you choose logical ones, but in saying that, airplanes arrive and leave at different times all throughout the day, 24 hours a day. So it doesn't necessarily matter when you do arrive or when you do leave, provided that you still just have enough time to stay within that destination that you arrived in within the 3 weeks. So there's no point just arriving there for the sake of it and then leaving 2 hours later. That seems a bit counterintuitive, because you got to remember you are on a holiday. It is up to you and how long you stay at each destination, provided that you do return within the 3 weeks. You're going to use the time differences and flying times. You're going to calculate, and driving times if you want to do road trips. So calculate the local arrival time and date. All times should be in 24-hour time to avoid confusion between AM and PM. And I'll do a little session after this to show how that works. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to write 2 or 3 sentences to explain how you calculated the arrival times. Now remember, there is an example that was used here. The due date, I haven't put a due date on for this, but tentatively speaking, I want this handed in by the end of term 3. Now, writing 24-hour time can be tricky if you're not used to it. If you've been exposed to it at a younger age, then it's quite simple. But all you gotta know is that as soon as we are in the morning, so AM, you're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, instead of it resetting back to 1, we go to 13. And we have 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way to 23. And then as soon as, which is 11 PM, and then as soon as it hits 12 again within the morning, it resets back to 0, 0, and then the cycle starts again. When you're writing 24-hour time, make sure that you don't write AM or PM next to it, because 24-hour time is indicated by you showing that it's AM and PM by the numbers gone past 12. If it's beforehand, so say for instance 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, you just won't include the semicolons in the middle. And I'll show you what I mean by this quick example over here. So this right here is the 24-hour or military time, as they call it. So when it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so 1 AM, all you do is write it as 0, 1. You always have to make sure there's 2 digits at the start, 0, 1, no 2 dots in the middle, the semicolons, and then 0, 0. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3 in the morning, and this goes all the way up to 12. As soon as it goes to 1 PM, it hits 13. And then again, we'll go 14, 15, 16. This keeps going all the way. You'll notice that we've always got 2 digits at the start, regardless of whether it's a 0 or a 1. And we've also got, when it hits midnight, technically there shouldn't be 24, it should hit 0, 0 again. But both of them will suffice, 0, 0 or 24. And then once it starts again to 12:01, we're at 0, 0, 0, 1 in military time. I'll be making another video in regards to how to read time zones to help you out with this. There is a plethora of resources. You can always just Google this or YouTube this, but I will make a video. If you need any help, just message me on Teams or flick me an email. Best of luck, have fun with this, and just pretend that you're on a hypothetical holiday given the circumstance we're in. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.